three kids who are so overpowered, they've basically broken the game of life. We've got Izoi, Asuka, and Kasukabe. These guys are bored out of their minds because when you're a walking demigod, every other human is basically just a background NPC with terrible AI. So when life on easy mode gets too dull, the universe apparently sends you a special invitation to hard mode. They get whisked away to another world to start a new adventure, fighting demon lords, gods, and whatever else the multiverse throws at them. Our story kicks off when these three high school-age prodigies each get a mysterious envelope. You know, the kind your parents tell you is a scam, but your curiosity says, click here. The moment they open it, bam, they get yeeted into another dimension called the Little Garden, and they weren't invited by accident. This wasn't some cosmic junk mail. These three were hand-picked because they are all leagues above normal humans. First up is Izoi. This dude has the physical strength and brain power that makes Albert Einstein look like he was struggling with basic math. Because of this, he's perpetually bored. There's literally no challenge left for him in our world. He's already 100%ed reality and is just waiting for the DLC. Then there's Asuka. She's a high-class lady from a super rich family with the power to make anyone obey her commands. Basically, she has the world's most powerful, I'd like to speak to the manager voice, and it actually works on everyone. And finally, we have Kasukabe. Physically, she's weak and has been sick a lot, but she's got a super special ability. She can speak to and understand animals. A regular Dr. Dolittle, but probably with more teenage angst. The person who invited them is, well, it's a rabbit person named Kurosagi. And when I say rabbit person, I mean it. Full on ears, tail, the whole 9 yards. So naturally, their first thought isn't, oh, a mystical guide. It's, nice cosplay, nerd. So being the problem children they are, they immediately start messing with her. After they've had their fun, Kurosagi explains what the Little Garden and an event called the Gift Game are all about. Gift games are basically high-stakes competitions where you use your gift or special power. Here's the crazy part. Any player can start a game and make their own rules as long as they can offer up a prize. And the prizes can be anything: money, land, people, or even your own powers. It's the universe's most chaotic battle royale mixed with a really sketchy crypto contract. But to survive in the Little Garden, you have to join a community. And surprise, surprise, Kurosagi offers them a spot in hers. Izoi, who is terminally bored with everything normal, is immediately intrigued. A world with actual challenges? Sign him up. The other two are on board, and they accept Kurosagi's offer. She leads them to her community's headquarters, where they're greeted by a kid named Jin. And even though he looks like he should be at home playing video games, Jin is actually the community's leader. But wait, where's Izoi? He's suddenly gone. Asuka just casually says, "Oh, Izoi? He said he was gonna go check out the edge of the world. Be right back." You know, like he was just going down the street for a snack. Kurosagi absolutely loses it and sprints off to find him. She gets to the edge of the world, and what does she find? Izoi is already challenging a local god, who happens to be a giant white snake. The snake god scoffs at him. "You're just a human." Big mistake. Huge. With a single punch, Izoi completely bodies the deity. Seeing this, Kurosagi is floored. A human who's supposed to be a useless NPC, like, well, you guys watching, just one-shotted a god. As a reward, Izoi gets a water tree seed, and Kurosagi is ecstatic. With this, they won't have to buy water from other communities anymore. But Izoi, being hyper-intelligent, senses that Kurosagi is hiding something. It turns out her community is in deep, deep trouble. Think of them as a startup that got wrecked by a hostile takeover from a demon lord. They were forced into a gift game, lost spectacularly, and were stripped of their name and their banner. All that's left are a bunch of kids under 10 who can't fight. She's essentially a community manager for a guild that's about to be deleted, and she summoned these three as her last hope. She begs Izoi to lend his power to their broken community. The moment Izoi hears the words Demon Lord, his boredom meter finally drops. A real challenge? He immediately accepts. Meanwhile, back in the city, Kasukabe and Asuka are with Jin when they get approached by the leader of another community, Forest Garo. This guy, Galdo, wants their little group to merge with his much stronger community. But Asuka shuts him down instantly. She says they chose to stay with the no-names because they're tired of always being the strongest. They need a challenge. What a flex. Using her command gift, Asuka then forces the truth out of him, like a human lie detector. It turns out Galdo has been kidnapping kids from weaker communities and forcing them into gift games to take over their assets. He's even killed some of the kids he's kidnapped. Asuka, disgusted by this, immediately challenges him to a gift game, betting their communities against each other. Kurosagi is shocked, especially when she hears that Izuyoi refuses to get involved. His reasoning? Asuka and Kasukabe chose this fight. If I step in, it won't be a challenge for them. Hearing this, Kurosagi can only facepalm and accept her fate. The next day, before the game, Kurosagi takes the trio to meet a big shot from the Thousand Eyes community, a floor master named Shiroyasha. She's one of the strongest hosts in the eastern region, and also a demon lord herself. The goal is to get their gifts appraised. Shiroyasha gives them gift cards, basically magical smartphones for your powers. But when they try to scan Izuyoi, error, file not found. The card can't read his gift. Even a super advanced Laplace fragment card just buffers infinitely. Shiroyasha is shook. This kid is officially off the charts. Elsewhere, we see Galdo getting bitten by a blonde winged girl. She gives him some kind of beastly gift, wondering what the no-name community will do now. After this power-up, Galdo gets even more savage, even eating his own men for dinner. Yikes. The gift game begins that night. The win condition: defeat Galdo with a specific weapon provided in the arena. Asuka, Kasukabe, and Jin face off against Galdo, who is now transformed into a white tiger. Jin recognizes this transformation. It's connected to a woman he knows. Asuka and Kasukabe's powers don't seem to work on him directly. They have to use the provided sword. Kasukabe tells the other two to fall back and tries to take Galdo on alone, but she fails and gets injured. Asuka then steps up. Even though her mind control can't directly subdue Galdo, her gift works on living things and even inanimate objects. So she looks at the sword and basically yells, "Hey you, power up." In a flash, the sword starts glowing, and with a single empowered stab, Asuka takes Galdo down for the count. With Galdo's death and defeat, the Forest Garo community is dissolved, and its remaining members join the no-names, swearing loyalty to Jin. After the fight, Izuyoi meets that blonde girl who powered up Galdo. Her name is Letitia, and she's a former demon lord and a vampire. She used to be in the same community as Kurosagi and Jin, but now she's basically the property of another community. She admits she gave Galdo power just to test the new recruits, feeling their skills were still raw. Izuyoi, hearing this, gets that glint in his eye. A test? He's ready to go full power just to show off. Letitia agrees and tells him to stop a spear she's about to throw. For Izuyoi, this is child's play. He not only stops the spear, but throws it back so hard it almost skewers her. Kurosagi saves Letitia and checks her gift card, realizing Letitia's holy powers are gone. Izuyoi figures that's why her attack felt like a mosquito bite. Before Letitia can explain why, they're hit by a Gorgon's light beam, which turns everything it touches to stone. Letitia is hit and captured. It was an attack from the Perseus community, here to take her back. After she's gone, Izuyoi drags Kurosagi and Asuka to see Shiroyasha again to meet the leader of Perseus, a guy named Laius. Izuyoi wants to start a gift game to win Letitia back, but Laius refuses. Instead, Laius, being a total creep, makes a counteroffer. He wants to trade Letitia for Kurosagi. Kurosagi actually considers sacrificing herself to save her friend. Back at base, Asuka vehemently rejects the idea. No way is she letting Kurosagi become the property of a pervert like Laius. But Kurosagi is insistent, until Izuyoi casually strolls in holding 2 new gifts he won from defeating a kraken. These gifts give him the authority to challenge a legend. Now Laius can't refuse their game. Backed into a corner, Laius grimly accepts, vowing to destroy the no-name community completely. The night of the battle arrives. Thanks to Asuka and Kasukabe running interference against the Perseus soldiers, Izuyoi, Jin, and Kurosagi make it to the top floor where Laius is waiting. But Laius isn't fighting them himself. He unleashes his trump card, another former demon lord under his control, the demon Algol. Algol's entrance is epic, and it immediately attacks Izuyoi like a high school senior messing with a first grader. Laius thinks it's over, until Izuyoi breaks free from Algol's strongest grip with zero effort. Laius is stunned and terrified. Even the demon Algol is easily handled. Laius wonders, what is this guy's gift? Izuyoi then starts mocking the demon for being too weak. Ouch. Hearing this, Laius snaps and attacks Izuyoi from behind. But even with a sneak attack, he's no match for Izuyoi. Finally, in desperation, Laius orders Algol to use its ultimate move, a petrification attack that can turn the entire world to stone. Kurosagi and Jin start to panic. The demon Algol, which was about to unleash a world-ending petrification attack. And of course, Algol's so-called ultimate move gets effortlessly shattered by a single kick from Izuyoi. He follows up with one punch that completely obliterates the demon Algol. Laius is forced to his knees, but Izuyoi isn't satisfied with just winning. He wants to utterly dismantle the Perseus community, root and stem. He challenges Laius to another gift game, this time with the Perseus banner and the entire community on the line. He flat out tells him, "Your attacks were boring. Try harder." Laius, with no other choice, attacks Izuyoi with all his might, but his power is nothing compared to Izuyoi's. He's defeated with humiliating ease. With that gift game over, Letitia, now rescued, finally wakes up. As a thank you, Izuyoi, Asuka, and Kasukabe ask her to officially become a member of their community. Letitia happily accepts. Things quiet down for a bit, until one day, Asuka and Kasukabe tell Izuyoi they found a secret letter that Kurosagi was hiding from them. It's an invitation to a festival celebrating the revival of a fire dragon. The event is also a ceremony for the new Northern Floor Master, a girl named Sandora. And a festival like this means new gift games, which is like catnip for Izuyoi and his friends. Kasukabe is heartbroken. How could Kurosagi, their guide, their friend, try to hide such a fun, god-tier, battle-filled festival from them? They're practically starved for a real fight. So the three of them immediately head over to Shiroyasha's place to ask her for a ride to the north. But first, they decide to teach Kurosagi a lesson for holding out on them. They challenge her to a game. Find and catch the three of them before the end of the day. If she fails, they'll all quit the no-name community. Kurosagi, absolutely fuming at their childish antics, immediately sets off to find them. At Shiroyasha's place, the trio finds out that she was also invited to the festival, as a host. Apparently, some factions aren't happy about Sandora's promotion and might cause trouble. Since Izuyoi and his friends wanted to go anyway, Shiroyasha asks them for a favor: help with security. In a flash, she teleports them all to the north. They're amazed by the city and its culture, which is totally different from the east. But suddenly, Kurosagi appears to catch them. She lets out a triumphant laugh, having finally tracked the problem children down. They try to flee, but this time, Kurosagi manages to snag Kasukabe. After securing her target, she rushes off to chase down the ever-slippery Izuyoi and Asuka. With Kurosagi gone, Shiroyasha, now alone with Kasukabe, asks her to participate in one of the festival's gift games. Kasukabe agrees. Elsewhere, Kurosagi, with help from Letitia, manages to track down Asuka and Izuyoi. Letitia catches Asuka, while Kurosagi chases the ever-slippery Izuyoi. The two of them finally decide to settle things with a gift game right in the middle of the city. First one to catch the other wins. Their chase attracts a huge crowd of useless NPCs, who are stunned to see a real live moon rabbit, which is super rare. The game ends in a draw, but their fight practically levels the city block and gets the attention of the Salamandra military police. Long story short, the entire no-name crew ends up meeting Sandora because of all the chaos they caused. Luckily, Sandora has a good relationship with Jin, so she forgives them. But her older brother, Mandora, who's the head of Salamandra's military, is clearly not happy to see them there. At the meeting, Shiroyasha also drops a bomb. There's a high probability of a demon lord attack during the Fire Dragon Festival. Meanwhile, Asuka and Letitia find a little spirit who's been separated from her group. They become friends, but when Asuka asks for her name and community, the spirit just says Rattenfänger. Asuka is confused, but doesn't think much of it, and continues to explore the festival. Later, while they're looking at a robot exhibit from the Rattenfänger community, they're suddenly attacked. Asuka suspects the attack was aimed at her new little spirit friend. That night, Shiroyasha informs them that Kasukabe's opponent in tomorrow's gift game will be from one of two communities, Will-O-Wisp or Rattenfänger. Hearing this, Izayoi immediately theorizes that if it's Rattenfänger, Kasukabe will be facing the Pied Piper of Hamlin. Shiroyasha adds that the Pied Piper's group once served several demon lords, but was supposed to have been wiped out. Jin adds that Rattenfänger has the ability to capture and control rats. Hearing all this, Asuka gets suspicious of that little spirit she met. The day of the gift game arrives. It turns out, Kasukabe has to face a representative from Will-O-Wisp first, a girl named Aisha. Unfortunately, Kasukabe is no match for Aisha's gift. She's an immortal monster, a jack-o'-lantern, and Kasukabe loses the match. Right after her match, the sky darkens and thousands of black game contracts rain down. The rules are insane. Suddenly, a black fog envelops Shiroyasha, and everyone around her is thrown into the arena. Izayoi just says, "The Demon Lord has arrived." From a distance, three figures appear on a giant gift. This is the community Grim Grimoire Hamlin, and their leader is the demon lord known as Black Percher, but usually called Pest. With her are her two subordinates, Ratten and Wesser. Seeing them, Izayoi immediately blitzes towards Wesser. Surprised by the sudden attack, Wesser tells Ratten to leave and carry out her mission. Izayoi seems to already understand part of the game. By knowing their names, he deduces that the player's win condition is to uncover the truth behind the Hamlin incident. A little history lesson for you. The Pied Piper of Hamlin is a legend from 1284, where 130 children in a town called Hamlin were lured away and killed by a piper. Visser is actually impressed by Izayoi's intellect, even if he is an arrogant brat. Elsewhere, the sealed Shiroyasha instructs Asuka, Jin, and Kasukabe to tell Kurosagi that the game's rules are deliberately vague and nearly impossible to win. Suddenly, Ratten appears and starts playing her flute. It's a trick to control anyone who hears it, and sure enough, the useless NPCs in the area start going wild. Seeing this, Asuka tells Jin to take Kasukabe and run to Kurosagi. Asuka tries to stop Ratten, but her gift doesn't fully work, and she's defeated. The city descends into chaos. Watching all this, Pest, the demon lord, excitedly declares the start of this most extreme game. In the middle of all this chaos, Kurosagi appears as the judge master to suspend the game and force negotiations. At the negotiation table, the players argue that sealing Shiroyasha was a strange move and a violation of the rules. But after Kurosagi confirms with the central little garden system, they find no violation. The seal was allowed for a specific purpose. Hearing this, Pest, the host, wants to continue the game without changing the rules, starting in 1 month. But Jin and Izayoi reject this. They know that another name for Percher is Pest, as in the plague. The biggest one in human history, also known as the Black Death. A little fact check for you guys. The Black Death was a real pandemic in Europe in the 14th century that wiped out up to 75% of the population. It was spread by direct contact and carried by rats. Pest then smugly admits that she has already begun incubating her pathogens in most of the festival's participants. "That means all of your lives are in my hands," she says. Nearly everyone has been infected and has only 2 weeks before they die. Because of this, Jin rejects the 1-month delay. He counters with an offer. The game starts in 1 week. If there's no winner in 24 hours, the players surrender. Pest agrees. Meanwhile, Asuka, who was defeated by Ratten, wakes up in the exhibition hall. She's surrounded by the 130 spirits of the Hamlin tragedy victims, including her little spirit friend. Because she brought one of their members back, the 130 spirits give Asuka their most powerful creation, a giant robot named Dean, to fight the villains. Asuka accepts their gift. On the other side, Izayoi is visiting Kasukabe, who has fallen ill from the plague and needs to rest. After discussing the game, Izayoi finally figures it out. To win, they have to destroy the stained glass windows of Hamlin scattered throughout the city. He also figures out why they sealed Shiroyasha. Pest's greatest fear is the sun, because the plague thrived during a mini ice age, and Shiroyasha holds the authority of the sun in the little garden. Thanking a sick Kasukabe for the insight, Izuyoi is fired up. The final day arrives. The postponed gift game begins. The unfluted residents work together to destroy the stained glass windows, but Pest, seeing her puzzle has been solved, summons the entire city of Hamlin, making the windows impossible to find. Izuyoi once again faces off against Weiser, but this time Weiser has been powered up by Pest, and since they're in Hamlin, his power is multiplied. Impressed by Izuyoi's strength and intelligence, Weiser invites him to join them. Of course, Izuyoi flatly refuses. They clash with their ultimate attacks. Weiser, stunned, questions if Izuyoi is even human. Izuyoi's attack manages to wound and paralyze Weiser, defeating him. Elsewhere, Jin is trying to find the hidden windows but is intercepted by Ratten. But Asuka, with her new toy, the robot Dean, protects him. Ratten's gift is no match for Dean, and she is easily defeated by Asuka. With that, Asuka and Izuyoi rush to help Kurosagi and Sandora, who are fighting Pest directly. Knowing her two subordinates have been defeated, Pest looks ready to end this with one final attack. But Kurosagi won't let her. Using her authority, she moves the entire battle to the moon. Just like that, Pest's Black Death powers are useless. Kurosagi then uses a gift card to unleash a blast of sunlight, weakening Black Percher even more. The final blow comes from Asuka, who Kurosagi gifts with Indra's spear. Asuka uses Dean to launch the spear, and it successfully pierces Black Percher's body. And just like that, the Demon Lord is defeated. Easy peasy. With that, peace returns to Salamandra. The relationship between the No-Names and Salamandra becomes much closer. Back in the east, they all work to restore their land so they can farm again. They all pitch in. Even the giant robot Dean becomes a glorified tractor, plowing their fields. And so, life for now in the little garden will be peaceful. And those three? Well, they're probably gonna get bored again, because they've become the strongest yet again. So what's next? Will they get yeeted to another world to become the strongest there? Will their final boss be Saitama? Who knows? Thanks for watching. This is Dem Recaps, and I'm Edom. Love you guys.